Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on a leather sheath for a knife from Frenchy's Forge. This beautiful kumai is going to be getting a nice leather sheath. I think I'm going to use red stain for the leather. So what I've done so far, since I want it on my right hand side, I laid the knife with the edge facing to the left, and I traced all the way around it with the pencil. Set the knife aside. Now I'm going to pull out my handy dandy combination square. I'll find the 1/8 inch there. And I'm going to measure 1/2 inch from the edge of my pencil line all the way around.
Well, you're in the big leagues now. How was your vacation then?
So I have extra space to work for the welt when I put that in.
How? If you want to know what to do. Trivago compares hotel prices on their sites, so you can save up to 40%.
When I put the welt in, I'll take it out to the grinder after it's all glued up. All the tooling is done. And I will grind off the excess. All right.
Hasbro Star System. Find me a planet that supports covenant life. And found absolutely nothing. So they trust me. Trust me. I trust you. This success has cost you every relationship that you have today. What else are you willing to sacrifice? Everything. And it's too long. Then you post the war. Did you tell Rose Medic? My orders shall supersede any others. Bring John, the prisoner, and the artifact to my ship. Once you have the key, we'll no longer need John to activate the artifact. You and John combined will be the best for all of us. Stop! You're walking into a trap. Cortana! Stop.
All right. And you see we got a nice trace line here going all the way up. Right over here so you can see better. So I will cut that outside line, then take it over here, flip it upside down, and trace it again so I can actually cut that piece out. That's the piece we'll tool, and this piece we'll cut the welt out of. Alrighty? I'll be back in a minute, so I gotta go get my scissors. No, I think I'm gonna use green with this. Make it completely... No, I can't. I gotta make it blend. I have to use red.
Take your weapon off! Get this! Where's the combination? You can't handle the Stunner. Stay there. Chief. All these orders I'm bringing with. Dead order. Your choice.
And voila. This will be the actual... Or, no, that's not right. That'll be the welt. I'm sorry.
true. Halsey lied to us. Lying. Was for our entire lives. I don't understand. What you don't understand. You kidding us? She tortured us, brainwashed us, turned us into weapons. That's now she's sending us. It is. All true. Unfair.
All right, so yeah, this one will be the welt. So all I will do, I'll cut this out, and then cut this out, and we'll go from there. I'll bring you back in a little bit. All right, it's already cut, good to go, nice and clean. But the area I want to attach it to for the back side of the blade is really soft. So I'm going to have to abrade that somehow to make that accept the glue a heck of a lot better. So to do that, I'll probably take my Kiradashi that's up here somewhere and just scrape it, make it not so fuzzy, or make it fuzzy, I'm sorry. And then I will break out the barge contact cement and glue it in place so it doesn't come apart. Actually, I can glue it on the other side first. Let's do that. All right, so break up the barge cement. Since I've got a nice trace line here, it'll be easy for me to glue just that section and nowhere else. Once everything's been glued, I will let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes before securing it. Save this piece off to the side because you will need it later. It's just basically used as support when tooling.
She wanted it for herself. I'm not certain that's... Bring up the Aspero star system. 20 times magnification. Chief, we've searched every little region of the Aspero system. We can't find one habitable planet. McKee told me they brought the Aridness artifact to their only place. Where that's from. How could you trust a single thing she told you after when she's done? Just for a little while.
I believe Master Chief is right.
Oh? And did you feel it as well?
In my own way. Yes, ma'am.
All right, now let that sit for a while so the glue can become more tacky. All right, as you can see, I've got them attached together. They're glued, and I took the extra piece that we cut out and wedged it back in there really tight. Over here I got a spray bottle with water in it. We're going to do what's called docking, which is wetting the leather. Nope, before I do that, there's something else I got to do first. I have here is a groove cutter set at 3/8 of an inch.
Because I was also designed for her, and I thought. I believe that what Dr. Halsey wants to eliminate from your species is precisely the thing that makes you special. Your humanity. I've watched you.
So the reason I cut grooves in into the leather, and so when I go to stitch it, the stitching lays, oh, let me move my fingers, lays below the surface of the leather, and it will last a lot longer. I'll usually do 2 passes. Make sure it's plenty deep. Alright, that's nice and deep. Now, we spray it. Oh, that should be missed. This is called docking. It makes the leather more supple and allows it to do any tool or take any tooling that you want to put in. So what I've chosen for tooling is a nice little rope stamp. I will start by going around the cutting edge first. You know what? I'm going to grab my maul. It's a bit heavier. Keep an eye on your leather. Watch it. When it starts to dry out, give it another good mist. Oh, much better. So if you didn't have that piece wedged up underneath, you wouldn't get any tooling to take at all. It just flex out of the way. There, see? And it looks just like a chunk of rope.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Try Insurify. We help you compare quotes and save half on your car insurance.
Did you say half?
Yeah, and you can do it all online.
No.
Yeah, people save up to $1,000 a year. Same coverage, half the cost.
Look at my rates, they got cut in half. This is the best day ever.
My favorite part.
I like it when things are convenient and save me lots of money.
Go to Insurify.com and save up to $1,000 a year on your car insurance.
Your daughter wants a birthday party. Oh, correction, birthday tea party. And she loves herself, so birthday princess tea party. But her dream, a birthday princess tea red party. From tea sets to tea reds, get everything for every party on Amazon.
See, I'm almost done.
Hey, you're screaming.
Are you hiding from used car shopping?
Yeah, what if I were paid?
I get it. Nearly half of all your cars have been in an accident. But that's nothing to be afraid of.
Show me car parts.
That's done. At least that portion of it.
You don't have to overpay.
Wait,
Now,
I'll work.
I want to do some basket weave in the middle here. And I chose one that has a nice diamond pattern in the middle of it. Camera will focus better.
No matter what you love, Paramount Plus has.
And I won't show it. I can't get the zoom in or focus. But I'll bring you in nice and tight over here. You can see what I'm doing.
The landman. You're into. So much to explore. Find your shows.
So again with my combination square because it's a nice flat edge. And I use my pencil. Where the heck it just went. Use the back end of the knife. That'll work just as fine. I scribe a line at whatever angle I want to start at. So I take the basket weave stamp, give it a couple of good taps. All right, so the basket weave has 4 little tabs on the corners. And since I scribed that line to help keep me straight, I take one corner, the back corner, and lay it in this upper corner of the previous stamp. And I do that all the way down the line. Don't be afraid to spin your leather project. It's not going to hurt it. Okay, so we got that line done. Now we take more 2 corners, line them up with 2 other corners. Here, let me bring you in here so I can show you. Okay, so we're going to take, yeah, that'll work. In this corner here, and then this corner here. So there's 2 different corners that we're going to mark into. Do that all the way up. All right, leather's starting to get a little dry, so I know you can't see much because of my left hand, but I'm trying to do it as easily as possible so you can see. All right, right there. Don't worry about overstamping on the edge too much. You're going to go over that with an edge beveler anyway. That's about as good as we're going to get. Nice basket weave pattern all the way up to the top, and with that roping pattern on the edges. So that leaves me quite a bit of material to grind off. Before I do that, though, I want to punch holes. I've got a 4, a 6, and a 2. I got to find the 6. There it is. These are all 2mm punch or 3mm punches. So the tines are 3mm apart on each one. So I start by taking one tine off the far edge, laying it in the groove. Tapping it all the way through. So I got one hole that I needed to make way down here. So instead of using another 6 punch or a 4 punch, I use my 2. And then since I've got a nice deep curve here, I will use the 2 punch to go up that groove to keep my spacing. And not have to worry about any unexpected tight lines or having to do anything weird. So once I get past the curve, I'll go back to the 6 punch to help expedite or expedite, however you want to put it, the hole punching process. One more hole and then I can jump to the 6 punch. Okay, all the way through, nice and pretty. To make sure I'm keeping my pacing, I always take one time, put it back through the last hole that I punched. Just smart. And just like the other side, one time, completely off the edge when we finish out. Alright, all the tooling, the hole punching is done. We can throw that little centerpiece away. Now, trim up any excess on the outside, on the top edge. Oh wait, I don't think I'm going to grab the edge beveler first before I throw that away. Put that back in there. Edge beveler. And I'm just doing it on this top edge. I'm not going to worry about these other sides because I got to grind it flush in or where I want it anyway. And I won't do that till after I get the backside glued on. There we go. That is beveled. Well, yeah, that's this portion done for now. Now I get to make the other portion. So I'll bring you back when I get a nice strip of leather cut. Alright, I found my red leather dye. We're going to stain this a nice red. I'm not going to worry about the edges yet, just the faces where everything's going to meet up.
We are born, we live, and we die, according to the rules of blind and unguided evolution. As a result, our species is simply not equipped to survive what comes next. It is time for us to take control of our evolution.
I'll let that piece dry over the next couple hours. There we go. Again, like I said, I'm only worried about the areas that will meet up. I will get to stain the rest of that later.
Much has been lost, and there will surely be more sacrifices to come.
This way,
But I believe our species
I can
has been
glue it up and not have to worry about the area where the knife is going to be bleeding, because I will seal it with some super sheen or satin sheen. I haven't quite decided yet. So what that does is that locks in the seal, or locks in the dye, so if the leather gets wet it doesn't bleed out when it gets wet. Of course, I will have to go back through and touch this up afterwards due to cutting the groove on the back side. The reason I chose red is because, you know, the handle's kind of orangish, and I don't have orange leather dye, but I do have a nice deep red, and I think it'll go well with that. You know, red being my favorite color, you know.
next weekend?
Can't wait to see you.
Hi, Uncle Ricky.
I don't know.
You know, some people like using the wool daubers to do that. I prefer a paintbrush. I get much more, better covering or coverage. It's all down to personal preference. It don't matter what you use as long as you get the job done. Oh, since this is still wet, I have one more thing I need to do before I go too far. Let it dry. There it is.
Plus fast free shipping right to your door.
Out of my way.
The sizzle that brings Ohana together. Sizzled pork and Disney's Lilo and Stitch for theaters May 23rd, rated PG.
And voila. Now, it's going to take a few hours for this to dry, enough for me to apply any sealing. So, I will see you in a couple hours when I get back to the sealing. Alright, I'm back. We're ready to do our sealing coat. Our first sealing coat anyway. And this is what I'm using. EcoFlow Satin Sheen. I use EcoFlow because I have a dog. And EcoFlow is completely human safe, animal safe. It's good stuff. You know, just in case you have kids, you don't have to worry about them getting into it and getting sick. So, what? Back over here. Get you down here. There we go. You can see it's 98% dry on both sides, which is dry enough to do what we need to do. So I pour a little bit into a cap. That way I don't contaminate the rest of it. Do a nice heavy coat. And when I get to do the backside, it's just going to soak in like no tomorrow. You see it's starting to bleed a little bit from the satin sheen. That's why I poured in the cap. There we go. It's a nice heavy coat on the backside. Now I'm going to let this dry for a few more hours. And then I'll put a coat on the other side of that. And that should do it. And I get to break out my Dremel and sanding drum and rough this area up here so I can glue it. But I have other stuff to do before I glue it. We'll get there. Alright, it's the next day and I've done a little bit of stuff off camera. I took and made the keeper strap. This will hold it into the sheath. I've also, I glued it together. Then I took my awl and I went through all the holes that I created on the front half all the way through the back side. Then I started doing my saddle stitching. I started about 4 holes down, stitched back up, because that's going to be a triple stitch when it's done. And I went all the way down to the tip. Now I'm working my way back. So to do a saddle stitch, you go through one hole, even out your strands, and you go through the next hole, pull your needle through, and you take your other needle, go through that same hole. We got a bit of a knot forming here, so we'll take care of that. And you pull it through. You take both strands, give them a little tug. You don't want to pull too hard because you can cut through that hole in your leather. You just keep going until you're done. So when the reason I start down 3 or 4 holes is because I like to have this section here to be reinforced more, because that's where most of the stresses are going to be when you pull your knife in and out of the sheath. It can get kind of tedious watching me saddle stitch here. I'll do a couple more and then I'll shut you guys off, and I'll bring you back when everything is done being stitched. You guys get the idea, so you'll see it here in a bit. Alright, I misplaced the cord to my camera. My camera's about to die, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what I'm going to do, and then I will bring you back when everything's all complete. So I've still got to put satin sheen on the belt, or on the keeper. I've got to run my edge beveler across all the edges here, all the way up down both sides of this thing. I've got to stain the edges, cut a groove, and punch holes up here, fold it over, and punch holes across the lip here. I got to punch a hole in here somewhere where I want the keeper to hold the knife into the sheath, and I got to rivet that in. I just use a simple one-step rivet and a small anvil. So I put the cap on the rivet and use a domed setter. Give it a couple of good smacks to set the rivet. And yeah, after that, I got to burnish all these edges, and then the sheath will be done. All right, so I'll see you when I get done. All right, it's done. It's ready and complete, ready to go. I will be using it this weekend at a Renaissance fair. Holds the knife really, really well. It ain't coming out no matter what. Nice smooth release. Snap is still a little stiff yet, but I think it looks really, really good. Again, thank you, Frenchy. This is freaking phenomenal. I love it. And it will be my everyday carry from here on out. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And don't forget to wear your PPE.